Hope it worked. Am I? Can I join? Let's see. Hey, there I am. Cool. Cool. All right, so this is just going to be me stringing this the new Diadem Axis, and for those who do not know, this is a brand new racket from Diadem that I'm going to be stringing. I'm stringing it at 53 pounds, but I just got sent this and I'm playing with it tomorrow, so need to get it done. And I was like, hey, why not? This might be a cool thing to do. We'll see how it goes, and if it works out pretty good, we might do it again later. Cool. All right. Cool. Yeah, I got no real clue how this is gonna go or anything, but I was like, hey, let's do it. This is an interesting idea, especially since I'm gonna be standing here stringing regardless. So might as well see what's going on. If anyone does pop in, be sure to say that you showed up here in the comments. Let me know, and then let's talk. What's going on, and anything else. Let's see. See, that's the one thing about my machine that I don't necessarily like, is that it does tend to get in the way a little bit. However, we make do. I'm very thankful to have the machine and to be able to do this, because having to pay for stringing all the time, not fun. And now that I can do it myself, very nice. It's a very nice time. Plus, I also enjoy it. Hey, what's up? I'm going to say Ellie or Li. I'm not sure, but what's up, man? Today I'm stringing up the new Diadem Axis that they sent me to review. So with that, I've never gotten hit with this, but just from what I've seen and what I've read about it, this is essentially their version and their... Come on, there we go. This is essentially their version of the Babolat Pure Arrow. So they were nice enough to send me a few packs of their string, and so I'm putting in one of their strings as well. Diadem, I think this is Solstice Power 16L, and I'm putting that in at 53 pounds just to see how it does, and then eventually there will be a video about it on the channel. So yeah, but thanks for stopping by. Pretty cool to see you. Well, see that you're here. I can't really see you both because I'm here, and then I also probably need to get some glasses, but hey, that's besides the point. All right, cool. And I'm also sorry if the mic keeps making some noise because it keeps hitting my skin. I'm trying not to move it as much, but it likes to move on me. Cool. All right. All right. And then also thank you for letting me know about the name pronunciation. Will I probably say it wrong again? I sure hope not, because I will look at it again before I say it. But again, I hope not. Cool. Let's see what we got. Sweet. Thanks, man. Thank you for letting me know about the mic. Yeah. So what? Cool. So what racket and string are you using right now? What are you doing? What are you using? Let me know. Come on. There we go. Let's see. Ibra, I'm making, this is the new Diadem Axis racket that they sent me, were very kind enough to send me this racket so I could play test it. So now I'm stringing it up to see what it can do, how it's going to play, because I'll be playing with it for the first time tomorrow. I can't wait. Get out of the way. All right, cool. All right, cool. And with stringing this, I'm now very glad that Diadem has marked on their racket where you're supposed to skip putting the string in on this thing, because that's something that is not all manufacturers do, but when you're stringing, it's so helpful just to have those little like either dots around the grommet or just the circle around it to know like, yes, the string needs to go here. It's just very nice, and I appreciate it every single time I see it. Cool. All right. Sweet. Cool. Yes, sir. Ah, come on. All right. But so this isn't just boring watching random dude somewhere in the world just stringing a tennis racket in silence. Have you guys seen anything or seen in person the new Nike Vapor 12 tennis shoes? Because I saw them for the first time. I think it was yesterday, and I'm so excited because they finally brought back the Nike Vapor how it's supposed to be, rather than the Vapor 11, which is extremely heavy and just everything the Vapor is not supposed to be. So I was just like, I'm so glad that they changed this. Nike actually listened, and it looks like that they're finally doing a good job again with shoes after a little bit of a dry spell, at least to me. Some people may absolutely love and adore the Nike Vapor 11s, and that's cool. But for me, it wasn't necessarily the best thing in the world. But I also had the Vapor 10 and not the Vapor 9.5, but I had the Vapor 10 and I had the Vapor Pro 2, which very similar shoe, not the exact same, but going from those to the Vapor 11, it was not good. It was not the same. Did not enjoy that one as much. So glad to see Nike's back to at least something like it used to be. All right, cool. See ya, Ibra. I hope I said that right. And then if we're still here by the time you get back, Sam, we'll see you then. All right, cool. All right, cool. All right. Cool. Cool. And that's the mains done. Halfway there. Cool. Right. You know, the funny thing about me stringing on this table is the fact that I have the stand that goes with this racket to make that you can put on, just so that way you can adjust the height for you and anyone else stringing. I just never took it out of the box. I still have it, and it's probably somewhere down here. I just never took it out of the box. All right, cool. We're going up there. Seems like a weird hole for the tie off, but Diadem, I'm going to do what they say. All right. Now, granted, I don't normally tie off this early when I'm doing my racket, when I'm stringing a racket, but since I don't have a starting clamp, I have to kind of make do with this for now, and then I will tighten this main string once I tie the knot. Now, granted, if I'm since I'm just stringing this for me, I don't necessarily care as much, just because if I'm hitting it up here where this would be, I have much bigger problems than I have much bigger problems to worry about than me tying that knot right now. So that's just on me. But when I get a starting clamp, I'm going to be doing this right, as it should be. All right, here we go. Cool. Now my friend, he was telling me that he's strung with this string before because he either got a pack from someone he knew or he had just found a pack of it, and he said it was extremely hard to weave through, mainly just because, oh wait, hold on, what did I do? Oh, there it is. I double bridged it. Luckily I caught it now before having to cut out everything in the racket and having to restart over, because that would not be good. Not good. All right, cool. Where's my ball? Is it this one? Yeah. Ah. Come on. Cool. So, like I was saying, my friend, he just got a pack of this string, and he was stringing it, and he was like, dude, this thing, it was harsh. I was like, why? He said, oh, you'll know. And I think I'm starting to see why he was talking about it, just because with Solstice Power 16L, since it is a star-shaped string, or it has these really jagged edges to it, it is making it a little bit harder to glide along the other string, whereas other polyesters or multi-filaments, because they're smooth, circular, and a little bit softer, they just kind of go over a little easier. Makes it a little bit faster to string if you have the more circular ones, but doesn't end the world, luckily. If it did, I probably wouldn't be using this string, but we'll see. I haven't got to test this string either, so it's a fun experience, both stringing and then when I'll be playing with it tomorrow. Come on. There we go. Now, I am not the fastest racket stringer in the world, and I know that. That's why I'm not on the professional tour. But as long as I make sure I do it right, I don't really care as much for speed. But I've seen guys that I've worked with, they've strung rackets within, I think their record best was 12 minutes in a racket, and it wasn't that they were just trying to fly through it as fast as they can. They actually did everything they needed to make sure that everything was good before they sent the racket out for someone to actually play with. And I was extremely impressed with them doing it in 12 minutes. Because average time for me when I am stringing a lot is usually at least like 30 to 35, sometimes even 40. So the fact that they could do it in 12 just proves to me how much just repetition and doing this over a long period of time will actually allow you to just get good at doing this. It's insane. Come on. Don't give me trouble. Cool. Cool. There's this. All right. And if you notice that I keep looking over here, I am checking my computer to check the comment section in case anyone has anything they want to say, anything that's on their mind, just because I can't read anything that's on my phone right now. It's a little bit far away, and I'm sorry, but I just can't see it. I just can't see that far in terms of any words or anything that are on there. Come on. Come on. No, go the other way, string. Come on. There we go. Ow. Well, that wasn't good. All right. Cool. Ah. So, sweet. It's starting to get a little easier as my fingers are getting used to it. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. So, come on. All right. Cool. Pull this. Come on. There we go. Let's, yeah. Cool. So, I gotta say, today I actually finally got to play tennis for the first time in a while, and it was so nice. Just being on court and playing. We had a group of about 4 today, and because we had a group of 4, luckily we could play doubles. So each one of us went around with the same partner the entire time. Now none of us got the complete wins to where we won with every single partner. The maximum we got was 2-1. Now luckily I was one of those 2 because there was myself and then one of the other kids that I was with. He only lost to me and the guy that was actually trying one of my rackets today, because his is starting to crack internally, which not very fun. And especially if you don't know, rackets can crack internally the more and more you use them. So sometimes people can actually use rackets for multiple years and even sometimes even decades and not ever notice a difference in feel or playability. But not all rackets are made equal. So my friends, he's had it for a few years now, and he started noticing that there was a lot more shock and vibration coming into his arm from what he was used to, just because he does use a polyester string. However, it's never really given him arm issues before. He's never really had a problem with it, and he hasn't had any injuries or anything like that before. So I was like, let me see your racket. Because when you would hit it, especially if you were just like holding it up to you and then you just held it up, you tap your racket on your hand, you usually hear that all familiar ping noise that all of us tennis players are familiar with. But when you did it with his, it was just a thud. There wasn't anything to it. And it wasn't that it was right in the middle. It wasn't like right in the middle here in the middle of the actual racket itself, but if you went anywhere a little bit towards the corners, whether it be up on the racket or down on the racket, you got just a dull thud. And he was like, hey, is this broken? I was like, well, let me hit with it. So he lets me hit with it, and after a few balls, I'm just like, yeah, you should probably get a new racket at some point soon, just because this is going to continue to get worse. He's like, man. And the racket he's using is a Headspeed Pro, but I believe it's the 2022 version of it. So luckily, there are some that are still being made by Head, and that they are going to be available in some stores. However, it's still taking Head a while to get them ready, to get them made and get them shipped. So the man is running out of time to where he can go without a racket, because he's still using it right now since it hasn't caused him very much of an arm issue or an arm pain for him. But definitely is something that he's a lot more careful of now, just because he's like, oh, this is not good. All right, cool. But that was today. Cool. Oh, come on. There we go. Cool. All right. Come on. Cool. Got it. All right. We're getting closer and closer to the end. Cool. All right. Cool. And for those of you who are here, for those of you who are watching, whether it be actively watching me string this racket, whether you're just listening to me in the background, you just have me on, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. This was my first time ever going live on YouTube, whether it be or just live in general. So I'm still figuring things out. It's new to me, but I thought, hey, I'm going to be stringing this racket. I might as well take the opportunity to go live, interact with some people, have some fun with it, see what's going on, see what works, what doesn't work. If I'll probably try doing this again, especially next time I need to string my own racket, just because it's pretty cool to have something to do, have some people to talk to, especially if I am just doing this little monotonous thing over and over and over again. Just because, as you can see, there's not really many people or any people here in this basement. So, thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. I really do. Cool. And string don't get in the way. Why is it doing that? All right. Here we go. Yeah, now that I'm down here towards the end of the crosses, this is, well, I'm not necessarily at the end, but I'm getting closer and closer to the end of the racket. So now the string is being less and less nice when it comes to actually going through. And it's not the most fun thing, but hey, we'll make do. We'll figure it out. We'll get it done. We'll get it strung. All right. Cool. Whoops. Ah! So, let's see. Hold on. AA, yes, this is the Axis. Diadem was very kind enough to send me one. So I was like, "Oh, I can actually play with this now." So they were also kind enough to send me a few packs of their strings, so I'm getting this strung up today so that I can play with it tomorrow. Get some initial thoughts, some initial feedback, as well as this will be my first time playing with Diadem Solstice Power 16L, which is the string that I'm putting in here, and that's why I'm just like very excited. Also, I'm very curious as to how this combination is going to work, especially just because this is a new thing for Diadem. They haven't had a specifically spin-oriented racket before, so I'm very curious to see how it goes, especially with, and I've said their name wrong before. I've got these two mixed up before when I've talked about this to people I know, but especially with, I want to say Spitalina using this on the Pro Tour now. I'm very curious, not only with Diadem getting that big of a player sponsor, but also just how this is going to do from what they've done in the past. And then let's see. Chills of my life, what's up? Let's see. Nice gator, by the way. And then Bruise with Drew. So on my machine specifically, it does have the wheel attachment. Mine is right here. I do keep it with my racket. However, I personally found that I I just wasn't a big fan of it. Now, if I'm stringing on, say, like a Wilson Bayardo machine to where it's the $6,000 machine, I am not taking off that wheel. However, but comma pops for dramatic effect. I don't I don't like using the wheel just because what I originally learned on didn't have it, as well as if for some reason I'm doing a racket that is an 18 by 20 string pattern or a more dense string pattern, and I want to make sure that I have enough string to actually reach the tensioner because I don't have a starting clamp with string in it to act as kind of like a jumper cable almost to get the string over here. That's why I personally took my little circle thing off, just so that way I had a little bit more reach and it was a little bit more of what I like. I have nothing against it. It's just not what I learned on. So I just never cared to have it on my own personal machine. It does sometimes help a little bit, but I haven't I haven't personally found seen the difference just from stringing off of this machine with it to without it. So I just took it off. It Wasn't for me, but I can appreciate why it's there. And then, cool. Chills. Let's see. Is there a way to fix cracked racket? I don't think so. I would say if you are playing with a cracked racket, like my friend is that I was talking about, or if you have a cracked racket, I don't really know of any way to fix it. It's kind of just done at that point. So it might just be time to get some nails and hang the racket on the wall if it was a good racket to you. You want to give it a little bit more of a celebration for its life that you played with it. But overall, the racket's pretty much done. Cool. All right. Next, there was another question. Is it fine to play with cheap reels that isn't those popular brands? Of course. Use whatever string you want. There's nothing that says you have to like this specific string. And if someone tells you that you have to like a string, they're wrong. Because I personally know someone that, well, let me rephrase that. I know their mom. I know this kid that when he was a junior player, he was, I want to say he was top 5 here in the US when he was playing juniors. And the string that he used was, if you've ever heard of it, called Turna Big Hitter Silver 16 gauge. That string in itself is $6.95 per pack. So if you do that with a reel, you're looking at probably maybe $100 for the reel, if that. And now I just did quick math in my head, so I may not be the most accurate math, but you can do that, use that reel, and be completely fine as long as you like the string. If you have a string reel, but you don't like the string, there's no real reason to keep using it just because it's there. Because you're not going to play your best tennis if you don't like the string or the equipment you're using. And so if you feel like you've used a string before that may not be as well known or as popular because it's not expensive, then it doesn't matter. Just use whatever you like. That's going to be the way you play your best. And who cares what string you use? As long as you beat them, it doesn't matter. And then if you are that kind of person, I don't know if you are, but if you are, you can just say, yeah, I just beat you with like a $6 string. Now, I don't know why you would do that. That's kind of like a little bit of a douche move, but you could. Not sure why, but you could. Yeah. See, I wouldn't try graphite, super glue, or anything like that for the racket. I would just, if it's cracked, I would just leave it alone. It had a good run. It had a good time, but overall, it's just done. All right. Cool. Finally did it. We're at the end of the crosses. Let's see. That should be fine. I'll pick that up when I'm done here. Hey, it went right through. Perfect. Come on. That should be fine. Yep. All right, cool. So as I'm wrapping up here with the final tie off on my cross, I know that this was a little bit sporadic. I know this was a little bit weird. This is the first time, like I said, going live on anything. But let me know. Should I do this again? Especially next time I'm going to string. I feel like the next few times I do it, especially if I have to string multiple rackets all at once, then I definitely will, just because, like I said, stringing can sometimes be boring if you're doing it all alone. You don't have anyone to talk to, and that, and I enjoy talking with y'all, and I hope you enjoy talking with me through chat and all that. But I will see how it goes, see how it does, and we'll go from there. Because I'm going to be stringing no matter what. There's a lot to play test. There's a lot to go and do. But I'm going to be stringing, so I thought might as well have someone else along with me. Cool. So we got those. Let me cut off the last tail and then recut this one. Cool. That's fine. These were over there. Do any last minute adjusting. Doesn't look like I double bridged anything, so that's always a good sign. Cool. All right, I think I'm good. Cool. So let's get this off the machine. Yeah, we'll do these first. Ta-da! Yeah. Boom. There we go. The new Diadem Axis, ready to play with, strung with Solstice Power 16L. It's going to be a great time. So this is a spin racket with spin strings. Yeah, Chills. That's pretty much exactly what this is. So I was like, I gotta try it, especially with it being the pure arrow kind of like counterpart for Diadem. I was like, I have to see what happens, just because it's going to be a great time, and I think I get to keep this. So I'll try out a bunch of different strings in it eventually, but I want to try spin racket with spin string just to see how it goes. And then cool. Yeah, just do live. I got so many questions I need to ask and learn from you. Cool. All right. Well, with this being done now, that is all I have for today. Maybe next time when I'm stringing, I'll have more. It may be longer, maybe shorter. I know I look weird because this light is like right there. It's nearly blinding. But hey, thank you all for being here. It was a great time. And again, let me know if you want me to go live more. I know Chills does. So Chills, I definitely will next time I string. Just let me know. I'll go from there. And as always, take care.